Hi everybody, welcome back. It's been a while. I do apologise. I've had some things go on in my life, and I've been feeling a little bit sad. When we lost our dog, it was quite traumatic for us. It doesn't seem much to other people, but it was a German Shepherd and we'd had him a long time. And so first of all, I wanted to apologise for not being as forthcoming with videos as what I was. But here I have been doing some plein air and some lovely urban sketching, but not around lots of people or anything. I've done it quite privately, and if I've not got my drawings and paintings finished, I've brought them back to the studios afterwards. But I thought I'd show you the kit and things that I take out with me. Everybody has different ones and different things, so I thought I'd show you. So first of all is this lovely bag of mine. It's a lovely big canvas bag. What I should do, I'll just turn the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I have this lovely big canvas bag. I did think about, I could decorate it if I wanted to, but at the moment I'm just leaving it. I'm trying to collect a lot of nice things and bring my kit right down, so I stick to one thing for a little bit more. So I'm just going to pop that on one side now, showing you the bag. And I go out with this. This is an ordinary board, an ordinary clipboard. This is an A3 size to fit an A3 with a clip on here. I bought it, I think it was from the range, something daft like $2.99. And what I've done with a glue gun, I've stuck on 2 magnets here and here. And then out of my bag, I'm just going to show you how I kit it up for when I go out, because I like to sit on a little fold-up director's chair, and then I like to sit with this on top and paint flat, and I like to paint like that. So in my bag, obviously I'm going to have a sketchbook, so I'll just show you how I just fasten that up. So for instance, here, underneath the clip, and just slide it along. Here, this piece here that's on the bottom here, this was a bird perch that I sawn off, and then with a glue gun again, and I've just glued it down so that it's a nice strong lip. It doesn't move, and the book can rest on it nice and comfortably. It's not going anywhere. If you buy these books, online, they're mega expensive, so I just made one up cheap and just done it my way, just to save on money. So a nice little plastic bottle, nice and light, fill that up with water. Here are 2 more ideas, because we're using lots of hand gel at the moment everywhere. This L'Oreal bottle, look here, if you look at the shape of the bottle, it's lovely and it's flat. So you could leave this to soak and get all the labels off when you've used it all up. And you know, obviously it's hand gel at the moment, but you can use it as a little water bottle. You can fill it up with water, and the end of it, if you look at it, it's got a nice little hole there that's ideal. Your water won't leak out. I have tried it with another bottle, and it's fine. And then you've got these little ones here that are ideal as well. You know, your little hand sanitizer gels. If you take off the lid once it's finished and wash it out, you can fill it with water. And the good thing is, what I like about them is that they are, you know, you can squirt the water out, and I'll show you what I squirt them into. I've got my lovely pencil case here, and my daughter bought me this. I love this. This is a leather pencil case. And then I got these tins online, and they're really for oil, but they've got a clip on the bottom. So what I do is I clip them on the top of here, like this, and then you can unscrew them, the lids, and then obviously your water, you can just squirt your water in, or from the big bottle, or you can take a small flask, couldn't you, because then you can have a drink yourself. Don't forget, if you're going out painting, you know, it's important to have a drink, Not always, this is out of this, and not all, you know, you don't always want a hot drink. Sometimes you know, you need to keep drinking water. If it's a hot day, you soon get dehydrated. So they fit on there perfectly. Yeah, so that's that. And then I have a small tin here, and inside it I've just got some of my little bulldog clips, which are perfect for something I'm going to show you in a minute. So they can step on your magnets and they're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, I actually clip these up on this side, and I usually only use one, if I'm being honest. I only use one. And then on this side here, get out of my special bag, I've got a drawstring bag here with my paint palette, and I get this out. This one's a Winsor & Newton one. If you've got a metal one, that's even better, because the metal ones will stick to your magnets. Mine's not metal, but I'm not going to buy a new one because I think it would just be a waste of money. So then I push it up like this, and then I get my little bulldog clip and I clip it on the side here and flip it round. And then I usually put another one. Where have I just put it down? I've just put it down somewhere. Probably, oh, it's still in my tin. Excuse me. Bearing in mind, I'm talking you through this, but bearing in mind, if you was doing this and you was on your own, it's a 5-minute setup once you know what you're doing. And then I clip this across the corner on this one. I have got a bigger one than this, and it makes it nice and strong. Keep that in there. And then the tin. Yeah. Another thing is here, where this gap is, where your handle is for carrying it, I also then clip down my page from there. If you're wanting these, if you're doing this with paper, be careful, because what can happen is that these can mark your paper, so be careful with that. So you can either keep that on there, you can use it for all sorts of things. You haven't got to be using it for that. For instance, I mean, I can have my water down here if I want to, right next to my brushes there. And also then you can have, like, I take my best pen for my best ink pen. This is a bamboo one, but when I put it down, if I put it on my magnets, which I mostly do, that's what I use my magnets for, if I'm being honest. And then if I tip this up, look, nothing can move. I can't lose anything. So if I wanted to have it on a slope like that, nothing's going to move. It's solid, it's strong. And the only thing that moves is that pen, and it only drops down to there. But, you know, these are really expensive, and if you've got a pen that you really like, you just do not want to be losing it. So it's important. So, and yes, so it's as simple as that. So that's my little setup, and I sit with that on my knee, and I can be painting away. Brushes, I keep those in a roll up. So on here, I have a roll up. This was only, I think it was like $7.99 off of Amazon. Canvas again, always think canvas is good. Because you can decorate them if you want, or you could, you know, you can wash them and things like that. And in here I've always got this, which is a little mini tripod for my phone. So that all sets up nice and easy. It extends out, look, and you can, it's a bit, yeah. So if you're filming yourself like I've told you to do, but they do fold up like that. But this also stretches right out, and you can use it as a selfie stick. So, and this one's quite good because it's a Bluetooth one. So if you charge it up before you come, when you stretch this out and you can twist it round and all sorts. You can take your photograph by just pressing this button on Bluetooth, but you do need to obviously have your Bluetooth on your phone switched on, but it does work. And it's great because nobody can see you switching it on, and you know, it's quite good. So yeah, so I always keep that in there as well, just because there's room really. I use a bone that you would use for just cutting paper with, but I also use it for measuring a building. So if there's a building in front of me and the rooftop is facing, say, that way, I put that in front of me and then just take that down onto my paper, and I've got the perfect angle. And then I've got just some watercolour brushes in here, just because I'm using watercolour. And then I have 2 pens loaded up here with water in as well. They've always got water in as well, ready for, you know, for watercolour painting as well. So plenty of water, and a smaller one there as well. And then these are smaller brushes at the side, just little tiny brushes. And then I've got 2 white, like expensive like gel pens, because I think that they're important to have. They're good for highlighting if you've not left any space and things like that on your pictures. And then that just folds up and just goes into my bag. And then also obviously I've got a sketchbook in there. This was one I just got out, but I've got like one, I kind of go with one pre-ready really. So like this one's pre-ready. I've put this is just, I've just put round the edge of it, it's just tape that you use for wires, you know, I don't know what you call it, but that peels off lovely, and I've just put it on there ready, so I don't go any further into that. That was some glue I spilt on there, so I'm going to make use of that. But it's handy to have things all set up for yourself before you go. Think about where you're going and what you're going to be doing, and you might only need to take one sketchbook, and it will make either portrait or panoramic view or landscape, and you haven't got to worry about things, you see. Yep, so that would go as well. So there's not much more. And then this is little leather case, this little Radley one that I've had this for years. And then inside this I always have some collage that I've done myself. I've done these on a jelly plate with some paper clips around them, just on some music paper. And so if I'm stuck for inspiration and I don't want to just copy something straight there and I want to do it more intuitive, I've got a little bit of collage there with a little glue, you know, glue stick, and a little pencil sharpeners in there, and a little bit of sticky tape, coloured sticky tape, and a rubber, and they all fit into there lovely as well. But you know, it's not very often I resort to them. It's just if I get stuck or I feel like I want to free up a bit more if I've been painting or drawing a bit tight. So yes, and then inside here, inside my lovely pencil case, then I've got a selection of pens, fine liners and brush pens in here, different colours, and a couple of gel pens in a grey and in a gold. They just make nice little additives in the trees and things, and they help with line work. Yeah, so, and that's all that I take, and I'm just putting them back in the bag if you can't see what I'm doing, and that's it. And then it's just as easy, I'll just put in this in here, it's just as easy to take things apart. This just slides off and you just pop it in there. Obviously it would have had water in, and you know, you just empty it. And then these are easy to it's just a matter of all unclipping. But like I said, once you know your method of how you're putting things together, and you know where everything is and what they fit into, like into my little tin, look, and here with my little book, just close this up, that fits into the bag. I've also got a bag of baby wipes in here as well. I don't bother taking cloths and things like that. Oh, there was one other thing. I've got another little tin in here, and then they've got some bit bigger ones, bit bigger clips, and then also in there is some little sheets of paper, I normally get them out with the end of my brush really. And they're just little tiny sheets of paper, and I usually bulldog clip one of those down onto my board as well, because they're ideal for trying out your paint before you put it on. Because sometimes in different lights you get different, you know, you might think it's a black, or you might think it's a dark blue, and it could end up being a different, it could be a dark green, because until the paints are wet it's difficult to tell. So they all fit in that bag, still popping them in, and my trusty pen goes in there, and I just pop that in, and then just take off this. I would have put that in my tin as well, but I'm just showing you. And then unclip this, and then that's it. The book goes back in my bag. Nobody knows I've even been here, and my magnets still stay on, and it's got a handle there. You can just carry this at the side of your bag. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit inside my bag, but that doesn't matter. I can just carry that at the side. I've only got to carry this plus my my bag, which would be on my shoulder, this bag on my shoulder, and then carry the board at the side of me, at the side of it like that in that hand, and then in the other arm, all I've got is my fold up chair, and that can go on my other shoulder, and that's it. So remember that was done by a perch, but you could use anything for this, but it's really ideal because it will stay down, you know, it will stick down. If you wanted to take more water, I suggest you take you can buy just an old tin flask, and just use the cup on top for your watercolour painting. But what I didn't want to do is to have absolutely loads of stuff everywhere. I want just one bag with a full kit in, and then know the setup, so that when you get there you're just concentrating more on what you're looking at, rather than you know on what you want to paint, rather than thinking, oh, I can't balance this on this leg. I've seen people with Velcro on one leg and this on another. You just need to be able to just sit and be able to do that comfortably on here. If you didn't want to do this, then obviously you can just sit there with your book, but yes, of course it's a lot lighter, but then you've got the problem of, oh, my paints have got to be on either a little table, or you've got to hold them in your hand, and it makes it all very, very difficult. So I hope that you like that, and make sure you pick some nice strong magnets when you do this, and be careful, because there's lots of tins and things that don't stick to them. But you know, if you've got a palette, there is a Winsor & Newton one, and you can, if you look online, there's some really miniature ones that you can have, and that are ideal, because don't forget, in watercolour you're only using the tiniest little bit of paint. And if you're painting into a sketchbook and it's a moleskin sketchbook, you really are using just a tiny weeny bit of paint and mostly water. And sometimes I might not even use any at all. So, you know, and it's the same if you want to do it this way, look, portrait way. You just have to, as you open out your book, you'd have to go further across, and you just have to clip it down on one side. So it's not going to move anywhere on your, you know, when you're sat there anyway, is it? So yeah, so don't forget. So that was the L'Oreal bottle of gel, and this one, well, it says a Panodyne or something, but we went somewhere and we got 6 of these free. So once we've used them, I'm just going to empty them all and keep washing them out and saving them. And they're just ideal, like I say, just for water. And if not, either a little plastic bottle. Try to avoid taking glass, because it is a worry, isn't it, glass? And if you did happen to drop your bag or anything and it smashes, you then got glass all in your bag and everything, and you're going to get hurt. You know, you've got to think of health and safety as well. So, but yeah, so the next video I'll show you, I'll put on, and I'm going to get out there. The problem is, at the moment, I'm having to just go out and take some photos quick, and then come back and have a paint in the studio. But it's good fun, but you're just not out there. And to me, you know, I know you're painting what you see, and that's great. but it's not the same as the feeling of when you're out there and you're set up in the woods and it's all quiet and it's early in the morning and it's great fun. So just get out there. But I've had nothing but days and days of rain here, and yeah, so I'm sorry, like I said at the beginning, about that I haven't done very many videos as of late. I hope this has been helpful to anybody who does want to get out there, and even if you don't, these are ideal as little trays that are to have at home and to just sit with it on your knee. You know, you could be watching TV and doing this if you've got a good board. And there are some boards out there, and you know, they can be expensive, but I don't want to pay that much money. It seems silly, you know. I just need something to lean on, and no one's ever going to see it. I'm not going to go anywhere where people are going to watch me paint. So it literally is for my benefit. But I thought it's a cheap way of doing things, and I thought that you'd want to have a go. I mean, your board as well, if you wanted, you could like paint it black and then paint it, couldn't you? You can do whatever you want. But if you did that, you'd have to do it with acrylic paint, and then you'd have to put gel medium over the top, and perhaps GAC 100 or whatever to try and seal it or something. But you could just make it like dead nice. But to me, there's no point. I'm not going to get paint everywhere on it, and even if I do, it doesn't matter. And then if I was going to paint my bag, I would just do it with some splats and things like that. But I'd use acrylic paint. But you've got to be careful, because when you wash things, even with acrylic paint, it still can flake off and it leaves like not very nice marks sometimes. But yeah, I don't know whether you could actually seal it when it's on, you know, when it's on a bag like that or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah, so I hope that you liked the video and found it worthwhile. And even one of these, look, this was a really cheap palette, again from the range. I just have this in the studio because I can put watercolour on it, and some of the colours that I mix I quite like this one, you know, it's a mixture of colours. And same with this colour was, believe it or not, was yellow with black to make this green. So but even something like that, because it's so light, would just slide into a bag like that. They sell these canvas bags online. I bought mine from just a random shop in the town centre where I was. One of those shops that sells all sorts, like an ex-pound shop. You probably call them dollar shops, or a dollar store in America and everywhere. But and like I said, I think it was £11.99, and I'd been looking at them online, but it's very difficult to judge the sizes of them. Even when it shows you the measurements, you know, you still want to be looking. I'm ending up looking on my little Trimit board and thinking, oh gosh, well, so is that big, or is it that big? And even if it's that big, is that the outside of it or the inside of it? It's very hard to judge when you buy them online. But yeah, just keep your eye open for a nice bag. A beautiful bag would be a nice leather bag, like my beautiful pencil case that I've had bought me. But looking at those, they were extortionate. So you want to buy what you want, and you know, but my kit's going to keep forever in that bag, and that's all that I want to take out with me. And I think that what I've done in the past with art supplies, I've got to be overwhelmed with them. You know, I've bought loads of acrylics, I've got crayons, Prisma crayons, because they're for pet portraits, and they're always out, in case somebody wants one doing, and they're on a separate table over here. But I don't want to go too far, so all my acrylic things and all that sort of stuff I'm going to get rid of. I've decided I'm just going to stick to this kit, and then keep updating it. It will be cheaper, and it will be handy. And because I've got 3 sketchbooks on the go, something else I wanted to show you. So I have got this one on the go, which you've all seen before. This is like all sorts of things that I've seen down Red River where I am, and I've painted them, haven't I, or I've drawn and things, and they're all the things that's like down there. So that book is for down Red River and I see, if I'm walking the dog and I see something, yeah, that's what I want to paint. And then I want to either go back when it's finished or and show it in front of it. So that's that particular book. And then if I just get my super duper bag, my super duper new bag to show you then. So I've got 3 books on the go, but I have them all for different purposes. And when they're all full, I'll get 3 more. So this one, this is the panoramic book, this one is. And like I was showing you how I've prepared it all ready. So that one's all ready to do. And this one's more for panoramic views. But it can still be done on location, so out on location of like, it also can be used for other things. So I'm just trying to pull this off just so I can show you what I've actually, excuse me, it's not coming off very easily, just so that I can show you what I have been doing in the past with it. So this one here is a newish one. I went to paint this church. Did this from my car actually. Still took my kit and did this from the car. Let me turn this down a little bit so you can see. But I got everything wrong, and so what I did was I did a half of it on one page and the other half on the other, and then this I'd already done, prepared the pages before I went, which was done with tea staining. So I tea stained it, you know, dipped it in some tea, cold tea, and dried it out, and then what I did was I stuck it in. So these 2 pages are actually stuck in. So but you can see what I'm trying to get at. And this was the start of the book. This was some printing as well. This was straight in though. But so this is another book. So if I was doing like a panoramic view, then this is the book I would do for that. So that's that one. But often you know where you're going to go. So obviously then you take your kit with you, don't you? You know. And then this is the one which was portrait view, but you can still use the moleskin for this by doing it as a double page, but you'll find that your painting though is quite small. That's another one. The quirky buildings was what I like in this one, and like a wobbly phone box, you know, and just the view going down the street. These were done as 2 separate pictures on 2 different places on 2 different occasions. So that was one day and that was another. But I just covered them up and pretended that that they weren't there, and that's what I did. So this was out on location. This wasn't. This was just taken from a photograph, and I liked it. And I tried to stretch out the house because it was a straight house like that, and I wanted it to look more funky and quirky. So I stretched it out, and I've been doing a bit more of that just recently. And that's another one. This was from a farm. Again, it was this was a bit on location. I started to do this bit on location, but I took loads of pictures, and then I did the broken down tractor. It was an old fashioned tractor. Just did that back in the art studio and just didn't, you know, added the colour there. So you don't always have to do it. This was on a rainy day, so this was just my paint palette that I'd got at the time. So this book's completely different, but I have to say that this one's my favourite book. So yeah, so it just depends. So if I decide where I'm going to go, and then I take those and I've got them all on the go. When they're all full, they're full. But if I can fill those 3 sketchbooks in the style painting that I'm doing now, I should be really, really happy, because I will have learnt a lot and I will have thoroughly enjoyed it. And then it can go on to having some bigger sheets, A4 sheets. An A3 sheet will fit on here. If you wanted to do them as sheets of paper, you can take those just the same, in the same way that I've done this kit. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased. And I just thought that I'd share that all with you. So I hope that you like the little board, and have a go. You know, you can stick anything on here. You could stick something that's plastic on there, but glue guns are so good, aren't they? They'll stick anything, you know. But make sure, as I say, the magnets are very, very strong, because you know, they've not only got to be strong on your board, they've got to be able to hold all your things, and they'll even hold your clips. They'll even hold your spare clips if you want them, you know. So it's just so that you don't lose stuff. You could have a row of them going across there if you wanted, if you're not using them for anything. So it's up to you what you do. You plan out your own board, but there's some tips for you. So hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Next time I'll be out on location. I'll show you how it's all set up, and have a go. And have a go yourselves, and you can bring neuro art into this. You can do whatever that you want, but yeah, it's a lovely thing to do, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have a similar sort of setup, or a different kind of setup, please leave some comments and things, because I can see that hundreds of people are watching the videos, not very many people comment, and it is nice. And tell me what you like me talking about or showing you and things, you know, or is there something that you'd like me to hit on that I've not, or touch on that I've not touched on? Is there something that you like more than something else? Do you like more neuro art? I love my neuro art, so you know, it's entirely up to you, because I seem to have 3 lots of things that are going on. A lot of people like pet portraits and see how they develop. A lot of people like neuro art, and a lot of people like sketchbook work and how I do that and how I get out there. I love doing all 3 of those, but it's what you want that's important to me. So please tell me in the comments, and we'll see. Also, I was thinking that I was going to get some visitors on here. Jane Aldridge, I thought I would invite Jane over, and perhaps Irene Purcell, if anybody knows of Irene, who watches Art Tribe and everything, and Louise Fletcher. I might invite her on here and to talk about their art, which would be really interesting, because they both are artists who are fantastic, and they do such different kind of work, and it's interesting. So I was thinking of interviewing some of those and doing like a pre-interview, and then putting the video on here for you to see. So yes, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.